Hi you guys, today's topic is sector area, Unit 6, Day 2. The objective is that I will be able to determine the sector area of a given circle. Now, just like last time, we're going to review circles one more time. All circles have 360 degrees. We know that the diameter is a line segment that goes through the center of the circle. So in this image below, line segment AB would be the diameter. Now the radius is again a line segment, but it starts at the center and goes to the edge. And here we can see that line segment PC would be the radius. The relationship between radius and diameter is that the radius is half of the diameter. Now when we are solving for the sector area, I think there's a typo. This section right here should say sector area. We need to use the area of a circle equation. And hopefully we have that memorized as pi radius squared. Now, when we talk about sector area, it is a fraction of the area of the circle, and it has the same units as area does. So if it's in centimeters squared, it can be in inches squared, feet squared, etc., etc. Now again, the central angle is going to be the angle created from the center. And the arc measure is the degree measure equal to the central angle. So if this is your arc measure, then it would be equal to the central angle. Now, in this investigation, again, I'm going to use our radius as 3 centimeters. I want you to pick a number that is greater than 3 and go through the same steps. So if my radius is 3 centimeters, right here, we need to find the area of the circle. So we know that the area equation is pi r squared. Since my radius is 3, I can plug in pi 3 squared. When I plug that into my calculator, I get 28.27 centimeters squared. Now we're going to divide the circle into 4 equal parts. So here I divided it in half, and here half again. What is the measure of each central angle? Well, if we have an entire circle, it has 360 degrees. We divided it into 4 equal sections. 360 divided by 4 equals 90 degrees. Right? Means each of our angles have a central angle of 90 degrees. Now we're looking at the ratio that we get from doing the arc measure divided by the total degrees in a circle. So our arc measure here, which is the same as the central angle, is 90. And all circles have 360 degrees. Now, using that ratio, we're going to create a proportion. So we have, what's this? Where this is your arc measure. This is your total degrees in a circle. This one is going to be your sector area, which will be our x, and below it will be our area of a circle. So if we're plugging in all of those values, we have 90 divided by 360 equals x over 28.27. Now with that proportion, we can cross multiply. We end up with 360x equals 90 times 28.27, which is 2,544.3. To solve for x, we're going to divide by 360. And we get x to equal 7.07 centimeters squared. That means the area of my sector, so this section of my circle, is 7.07 centimeters squared. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of seconds to finish this section up with your new radii. Now for this independent practice, same as you guys did last time, I'm gonna ask that you're organizing your information and showing all of your work on a separate sheet of paper. That separate sheet of paper you guys will have to take a picture of to upload when you submit your exit ticket. Make sure you're labeling this with Unit 6, Day 2, Sector Area, and please make sure you also have your name written at the top. Okay, there are 8 questions for you to practice. Now here's an example of a story problem. So we're gonna go back to this pizza question because what better story problem could we think of? You and your friends order a 20-inch pizza. Again, when we talk about that 20-inch pizza, we're talking about the diameter. If everyone eats 62.5 inches squared worth of pizza, what is a measure of the central angle of each portion a person eats? How many people are eating this pizza? So in order to solve this, we need to determine the radius of the pizza and then find the area of it. So if our diameter is 20, we know that our radius is 10 inches, which means if we put it into our area equation, pi r squared, we end up with an area of 314.159. All right, now we are trying to figure out how many people are eating this pizza and what that central angle is. So in order to find the central angle, we can use our proportion. And I'm actually going to cross this one out here and use the one that we were working on before. And we can fill in all the pertinent information. So in this case, we're looking for the central angle of each portion, right? So our arc measure is what we don't know. That will become our x value. All circles have 360 degrees. We are given that the sector area, the amount that each person eats, is right here, 62.5, and that the total area is 314.159. So again, we have a proportion that we can solve by cross multiplying. And 360 times 62.5 is 22,500. And then again, we're going to divide that by 314. And we get an x that equals 71.4 degrees. All right. So that means our angle measure, our arc measure, is 71.4 degrees. Now, if we want to figure out how many people are eating this pizza, we can do, well, 360 degrees divided by each person is eating 71.4, which gets us to about 5 people. All right, so our central angle here is 71.4 degrees, which is probably pretty close to 32 degrees, and we have 5 people. Okay, so again, we use the proportion, but we're solving for a different question because it gave us the sector area. So there are 3 questions here that we're going to ask you to solve, and then one here is a challenge question. This challenge question I will make optional. All right, but again, please make sure you're showing your work on a separate sheet of paper and submitting that work with your exit ticket. Thank you all so much for listening.